Hello, my name is Hersh, and welcome to the HERshyt show. Well, a little bit about it. You're gonna laugh, you're gonna cry, you'll probably cuss at me, but that's all right. I just want to bring to you the realization of what's really going on in this world that a lot of people are afraid to speak on. Enjoy. So, we are back. And I'm telling y'all, Flea gonna stay here.
Surprise!
She ain't going nowhere. We have such good conversations, so I love it. She is a permanent stature of the HERshyt show. We might have to change the name, producer, but I'm just throwing it out there. It's gonna be the HERshyt and Flea or something. We'll figure it out. But anyway, on this week's episode, we're gonna talk about some codependency. And the difference. Go ahead. What was you saying before we started?
You know, you have codependency, and a lot of people mistake that for love. It's very easy. There's a lot of trauma in your life. You don't realize codependency in love. People think, I need this person. I need this. No, that's just unresolved trauma, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
I mean, really and truly. And, you know, love is like, this is all my opinions, not enable, you know what I mean? Like letting them.
So supporting, not enabling.
Yes.
That goes back to that.
No, like if you want to do something, go for it. Yes. I want you to better yourself. I want you to go. I want you to be the best you can be. To me, that is love. Not holding you back, not codependency, not I need you.
Yeah.
Not
I can't breathe without you.
Yeah. And I mean, and I get it. We have people, but it's. Yeah, that's a big thing. A huge thing.
A couple weeks ago, you wasn't here for that recording.
Mm-hmm.
I did it about finding your own closure.
Oh.
And that falls in line with the codependency.
Uh-huh.
So finding your own closure and what I was discussing was more or less about, you know, stop. And it's not just about relationships either.
Mm-hmm.
It can be about that toxic family member or your childhood you want answers on or whatever, finding your own closure. So that falls in line with the codependency.
Yes.
You're so used to having somebody tell you what to. It's like it's not even a democracy in the house or in the situation. It's if somebody doesn't guide me or tell me what to do because of that trauma,
mm-hmm.
they end up becoming codependent on that person.
Mm-hmm.
What kills me is people that don't save up or get themselves, not even necessarily save up, but put yourself in a position to where you're not stuck.
Mm-hmm.
That's also where that codependency comes on. And that comes in codependency with drugs, codependency with alcohol, codependency with the fake love, like you was just talking about. There's so many aspects of it. It is crazy. And it's like people are afraid. They have to have that confirmation from somebody else.
And that's a big issue, yes.
They're afraid to step out on their own because they don't have enough people high-fiving them on the way.
Mm-hmm.
Where in the world does that come from?
It's trauma.
Is it just trauma?
No, that's a huge root. That's a huge root that's involved.
So the majority of the people, in your opinion,
it's a lot. I think in terms of energy, everything's energy to me. So you gotta overlook me. And it's like it's a dependency, like it's trauma. You know, you like I said, a lot of it's subconscious. Like you'll have anything. I don't know, like addiction, whatever it may be. It's some type of trauma that you haven't faced or you don't understand or whatever it is. A lot of people don't even realize it. That's what it is. You know, you think, why am I so dependent? What is this? A lot of some of it's not even your fault. A lot of it's generational.
Oh, yes.
A lot of it, and that is a very real thing. I always thought
it's passed down.
I'm like, that is not true. No, it's a very real thing. Mm-hmm. And generational, yeah.
Yes,
it's
indeed.
Extremely real.
You got to make that choice to break the generational curse. But I also seen in this
being aware is key.
Yeah.
Once you just becoming aware of whatever it is key. And then the rest of it kind of falls in line after that, once you really want it.
I also discussed about taking negative energy and turning it into a positive outcome. Mm-hmm. And you could do that.
Yeah,
you have to want to.
You're shifting the perspective of what you're doing.
Yeah, mm-hmm. and perception is reality, period. That's why I put the hashtag behind the show, because it is.
It is, absolutely.
My perception might be different from your perception. We could be looking at the same coffee and I'm like, that don't look good.
Well, that's the beauty of everything.
Yeah.
Everybody's different.
Looking at it differently, because if everybody thought the same, this would be a very boring world.
Yep, absolutely.
Or we're always killing each other, the purge type deal. Either way. So it's a good thing that people don't all think alike.
Thank God.
But yeah, codependency and love. Love is an emotion. Love is a very strong emotion. You get tied to somebody, which does become a piece of codependency because you get used to that person being around and you want that person to grow and you want that person to flourish. But then you have the high-speed narcissist that it's all about them and you wouldn't be shit without me.
Mm-hmm.
And then that codependency turns into more of a Stockholm syndrome.
Now you get me started with narcissistic.
Oh. But even with, see, to me, like when it comes down to drugs and alcohol, I don't blame the individual per se. I blame the drug and alcohol. Because you might need it or want to test something out that moment, but then now you need it. Now you need, because I used it during this dark time, it made me feel good. It made me forget what was really going on in my reality. So instead of facing that reality, I'm going to snort, shoot, whatever. You're actually doing yourself more harm than good. But then when it comes down into a relationship side and you're codependent, it might turn, them red flags are popping up left and right, but you automatically become that individual of, I'm not shit without this person. Because it gets into your mind.
Oh, absolutely.
And then you get clingy. I can't stand clingy people. I can't.
Love you, Tasha. Love you.
I be wanting to slap the shit out of people to do that. I can't stand that. But at the same time, like, I don't know. It confuses me. Because we've all been through some type of trauma.
Oh, absolutely.
Everybody. And it's not one person's trauma is worse than the other person. Trauma is trauma. At the end of the day.
It makes an impact on your energy field. And it's just stuck there until you change your perspective. You change your thinking, you change your life. And that is the honest God truth. And
the affirmation, the positive affirmation. I was reading that
when you start, if you wake up every morning, and I'm saying this from my heart, if you wake up every morning, write it down. Like, I have some dedication that you say every morning. I have a list on my phone. I pop it up and I'll read them every morning. Just to myself. I just silently read them, and it's rewiring my brain. What it's doing is saying, I am loved. I am, I'll just say all this stuff every day. And it's rewiring my brain. And it's a very real thing. If you do that every day, you start changing. You'll notice things start changing.
Changing your perspective.
And you're changing your world. And it's a very real thing. Yeah. Absolutely.
It is. And I actually discussed a situation with somebody that hit me up about a month ago. And they was having situationship problems because I couldn't call it a relationship. And I had to literally tell this individual, I just got tired of the repetitiveness of the conversation.
It's a cycle.
And I was like, listen, go to the mirror right now. We was on video chat. I said, go to the mirror right now. Went to the mirror, snotting up everything. And I was like, you know what? Remember who the fuck you are. Say your name.
That's funny you say mirror. I say that to people all the time.
Go to the mirror and talk to yourself. Yeah.
I had to do it. It's not pretty, but I did it.
Yeah. Even during, you know what, in my position, my job, I can't say what my job is. Not going to say what my job is. But there's moments where I've even had personnel over the phone that I've never met from Adam and Eve, Nail, whatever you want to call it. And they're emotional. You know what I mean? They're extremely emotional. And I would tell them flat out, like, baby, do me a favor. And I know whoever is recording me or listening is probably like, here she go. Because I'm like,
here she go.
I'm like, baby, do me a favor. Breathe in your nose. And I'll hear them actually do it. And I'm like, oh, shit, this works. You know?
Does.
And then I'll be like, just breathe out real slow. Do that a couple more times. And I get real silent on the phone with them. And I let them do it. And I'm not a mental health specialist, so please don't call me asking me questions about mental health.
She'll teach you how to breathe.
I will teach you how to breathe and drink coffee. But
breathe in. You don't have to time.
But it's really that moment. Somebody has to just shake you and tell you, like, remember who you are. And you may not have been the strongest individual, but I try to plant that seed in them. You're strong. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? This is a test of your adaptability skills. Look at it that way. It's a test of your adaptability skills. Mm-hmm. And when you look at it that way, it's like, are you going to falter and fall to the side and just curl up? Or are you going to stand with your head held high and remember who you are? You got to ground yourself.
Oh, absolutely.
Now,
we get so buried.
Yeah.
Our true self gets so buried.
Have you had any situations like that or any examples like that?
Like what exactly? What type?
Just having to ground somebody, grab them and be like,
all the time. That's a lot of what energy work is. That's what I do.
Oh, yeah, that is what you do.
Yeah, I'm very much aware of that one. You know, like the breathing thing is very important. Your breath is very important.
Even if it's think early in the morning.
You know, in self-worth, a lot of people just lost their codependency through and their self-worth just diminishes.
Now, people that lose their self-esteem over time, it is extremely hard for them to get it back. So how could we suggest on doing that? Because it's easier.
In the shamanic world, they ask you, when did you start dancing?
Yeah.
And in my way, dancing is my dancing with life. You know, just going with the flow.
Yeah.
That's my, go back and say, when did you, and I had to do this for myself. When did you start losing your dance with life? When did that cut off and started like,
have you ever became codependent on something?
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. I have many trials, many errors. You know, I mean, and I'm like, hey.
And Lord knows I done did some.
I mean, we all. I have absolutely. I'll be the first one to tell you. And, but the codependency thing, love. But don't get me wrong. You love somebody, you want to be with them all the time. I mean, I get it, but it's
not me.
Not Tasha. This is not.
I can love you from a distance. I'm going to say
that. I'm that way too. Don't get me wrong. I'm like, no, we good. We good.
I mean, you get into that habitual moment to where this is the time that we eat dinner. This is the time that we, every Friday we meet up. Or
a woman who, a feminine woman, so powerful. I mean, we really are. I mean, women are absolutely, men are too. I'm just saying equal. In my world, absolutely. It's a balance. And you have that in so much potential, but you have these men, and I don't mean to say it goes both ways.
I'm about to say there's some ignorant ass women out there.
No, it goes both ways. I'm not saying one or the other. I'm not, but this is just from experience, who absolutely brainwash. This is narcissism. And they absolutely break them down, little steps at a time, chipping away their confidence, self-reality. I mean, everything, just chipping it away, and they're reduced to like a pile of rubbish. And it's like, and you can talk to them till you're blue in the face.
Yeah.
It doesn't do any good. It's more like, I think they have to experience it.
I think I call it the jumping jacks for hopes too.
Okay.
They expect for who's ever doing that chipping away. They're going to change.
And when that's it. Oh,
they're going to change.
He's not going to do that. He's going to do that. And I'm like, did you not just see what he just did?
Yeah. You didn't feel that? So you just slipped and fell into the fist?
That's part of part of the brainwash mentality, and it's so easy for them to do, and it's so common.
Yeah.
And that's not love.
And that's where it falls in line what we discussed before about people needing that chaos around them. And then they eventually
it's a craving, it's an energy. And it's like I was telling you, it's a like I said, everything's energy. Here we go. Just call me energy. Anyway, it's an energy, like you have an addiction. Say you have an addiction. It's the same type of thing when you have somebody that's codependent. If they are going somewhere else, you're lacking. You're not getting that energy.
Yeah.
And that's why.
But I've heard a lot of drug addicts that have gotten clean or went through that process. They said that they kept going back, and I could compare this possibly to a relationship or situationship too, it's more painful to go through the withdrawal, and that would even be removing somebody negative from your life.
And it's the same type of like breakup. It's the same type. Even drugs or like that's what I'm saying. It's still energy. It's the same type of craving. It's the same energy. Yeah.
But it's also painful physically.
Yes.
Because I've literally seen people like break. That shit hurts. When you hurt deep, especially that first love or that for you think that's it, that's all, my world is going away. And addicts are like that. Mm-hmm. And codependency is like that. Mm-hmm. So the only thing I could really suggest is, like you said, find out when you stop dancing in the rain.
And that's it. When you really stop and think, and I had to do that. I really had to stop because I was just going with the flow of life. But then I thought, I had my awakening or whatever you want to call it. And it was sort of like I went back. I had to really dig and think, when did I lose myself? When did I stop dancing? I'm like, and I really went back and it was like, okay. And I see all these little things I didn't think were big, but they were little.
Yeah.
But yeah, that adds up. And it takes a toll on you. It takes a toll on you. I'm talking about from my childhood, to my middle school days, to my, all that.
It all just catches up to you.
Yeah, and you start to realize, no, it's because I was living a life that wasn't true to myself.
Yeah. That's where it becomes that you're not really caring what other people think. You're really caring about your emotions and trying to bury your situation, like workaholics. They're covering for something.
Oh, yeah. When somebody's busy, work, I can't sit still. When you sit still,
you're not trying to face that reality of what's really going on.
No, when you sit still, you're forced. You see a lot of people who can't sit still.
Yeah, no.
And because you are forced.
I used to be that person.
Me too. Mm-hmm. Like nonstop. Workout queen over here. What?
I wasn't working out.
I was working out queen. I had to do my thing.
I wasn't working out.
That was my way of,
just finding stuff to do.
Yes.
Cleaning or
nonstop.
Yes.
I'd just get home from work and I'd start mopping, sweeping, dusting. I mean, it was like, it wasn't even dirty.
Have you seen my baseboards? Like,
I'll get them later. I got you, cuz. But like, that's part of it. I mean, yeah.
But yeah, so it pretty much boils down to remembering who you are. But if you've lived a life of always depending on somebody else to give you that guidance, and now all of a sudden you're alone, you don't feel like you have anybody to give you that guidance, and you're swirling.
Mm-hmm. And I've been there. That's why I'm talking from experience.
The best way to do it to me is get out of that area that you grew up in, especially if you grew up in the trauma. Get away from those norms.
Yep.
And find yourself. Like when I went to the military, mm-hmm. I left because for one, I ain't had shit else to do. But for two, it was a way for me to get away from everybody. And once you got away,
you could start thinking you had no other these influences on you.
This is what I want to do. This is for me. You find yourself. You have to sit with yourself.
And that's what I've been doing for 5, 6 years now. I've been just basically sitting with myself figuring out. Okay, all right.
I love being by myself. I don't.
No, I mean it's by choice. It's not like I was totally alone. I'm just saying as far as finding when I stop dancing. Basically, that's what I like to call it.
You got to get back to your roots.
Your inner child. That's the most important part of your being.
Because some of us never had a childhood.
I mean, that's true.
And you always had to be serious.
Mm-hmm.
And we understand it. We get it.
Some of us are old souls as as children.
We were forced to grow up fast.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So we get it. But
we don't hold it against somebody. We look at it, accept it for what it is. Not to be mad at so many people. I'm not mad at nobody.
Yeah. You have to forgive others. And I said that on the Finding Your Closure. You have to forgive others for yourself to take your energy back. Yeah, that don't mean what they did was right.
No. Like, forgive those who trespass against you. And that's that's my motto I use. I'm like, and it's not always easy. Not at all.
No.
I'm like her. I'm a fighter by nature. I mean, don't get me wrong. But I'm very.
It takes a lot.
It takes me to get there. And once I get there, back up.
If you need the help, don't be afraid to ask for the help.
Absolutely not. And that's another thing.
Yeah.
Everybody, that's just it. It's okay.
It is. The stigma is gone. This is not.
No, if you're mentally stable in this world right now, congratulations. Congratulations to you. Because,
the new norm is mental. And that's okay. I'm just saying.
And it's true.
Mm-hmm. But bottom line, find yourself. Get back to dancing.
Mm-hmm.
If you never danced, find some rhythm. Just remember who you are and what your goals are.
And living in the present moment.
Instead of in the past.
That's the biggest challenge for me, was because I was always future, okay? And I would stress myself out so much, I would just stay frozen.
Because it needs to happen right now.
The future or the past, and I was just frozen. And I was just like, okay. You know, and it was like, no, live in the present moment. And once you start doing that, you'll notice everything starts falling in place.
One day at a time. Period, point blank. And one day at a time.
Yeah, change your thinking and you'll change your life. And that is the truth. And that's why, you know, not to bring religion in it, but it's like God is the Word is God. Because your words, your thinking, your mind, that is what creates your reality.
Or whatever higher being you believe in.
Yeah.
Whatever higher being you believe in.
Absolutely.
Just make it happen. Remind yourself. Make little sticky notes or just try
I make notes all the time.
And it's not going to happen overnight. It's
not.
It's not. So don't.
And there is no perfection in this mess. I mean, nobody's perfect. I don't care what they try to show or what they present. They might have the best stuff on earth. They might have the best clothes.
And stop comparing yourself to other people. Please don't. But that's a whole nother topic.
Oh, we'll do that one next time.
That will be here forever. But we're going to let you go this week. Just remember who you are. Day by day. Start with one foot in front of the other and remember to breathe.
And nobody is perfect.
Not now person. And you do not need to depend on now person, but yourself. That's it. That's all. Till next time, this is the HERshyt Show.
Be sure to log on to youtube.com and subscribe to the HERshyt Show at TheHERshytShow. Brought to you by 8 Robinsons TV and Yellow Tub Creative.